On the day before New Year's Eve, I didn't shut the window all the way, and my little sister sneezed. My parents kicked me out and ordered me to collect firewood in the dark. Inside, the family crowded around her, laughing as they handed her presents. I didn't cry or make a scene. Instead, I slung the basket onto my back before heading into the mountains through the wind and snow. I didn't find any firewood. I found a man instead. His leg was wedged in a crack between rocks, bloody enough to scare me. When he saw me, he said in a hoarse voice, "Get me out of here, girl. I can give you whatever you want." I looked up at him, my eyes finally focusing. "Really? Then I want you to be my dad." As soon as the words left my mouth, I realized he had already passed out. After giving it some thought, I dragged him out anyway. I hoisted his unconscious body onto my back and limped home. I had just opened my mouth to tell my parents what had happened, but what greeted me was my father's hand as he struck me on the face. "Your sister is waiting for hot water. Where's the firewood? What kind of junk did you drag back here?" My mother frowned and glanced at me like I was trash as she said, "What are you standing there for? Hurry up and get the fire going." I pressed my lips together, wanting to say something. In weather like this, the man could freeze to death if he stayed outside all night. Not to mention he was already injured. My sister suddenly skipped over and spotted the bracelet on his wrist. "Wow, that four-leaf clover is so pretty. Mom, Dad, I want it." She was the family treasure. My parents would always say yes no matter what she asked for. Sure enough, my mother reached for the bracelet's clasp while my father was still thinking about it. "Why is this clasp so hard to open?" My mom mumbled, "Forget it. Bring him inside. We'll tell him to give it to you when he wakes up." "We saved him, after all," my dad said. "Yay, we saved someone. Grandma, come help too." My sister cheered innocently. "Big sis, remember to give Bob all the leftovers. I saved him a bunch of ribs. It's his New Year present." Bob was our dog. Meanwhile, my sister and my dad were playing at rescuing the man, wrapping gauze around him as though they knew what they were doing. After shouting at me, she suddenly seemed to remember something and said, "Oh, right. You haven't eaten." Then her face frowned with worry, tears welling in her eyes. "But what about Bob?" I promised him. "Eat? Like she deserves any food. What good is she when she can't even pick up some firewood?" My grandma shouted. "It's the holidays, and just seeing her standing there makes me mad." At that moment, the man I had brought back began to stir and open his eyes. My sister stared at his wrist and said, "I saved you, so you have to pay me back. I want your bracelet." The man's eyes swept the room and barely lingered on me. Then, he took the bracelet off without hesitation and slipped it onto my sister's pale wrist. "My name is Zane White. I was on vacation with some friends and had an accident. Thank you for saving my life." I stared at the dad I had picked up, waiting for him to realize I was the one who had saved him. Despite that, he kept looking at my sister and didn't see me at all. I twisted the hem of my shirt, then slowly let go. It had always been like this. My parents, my grandma, they only loved and pampered my lively sister, but no one liked the quiet one. Once my sister got the bracelet, she lost interest in the rescue game and ran off to the backyard to play with our dog. Only then did my father look at Zane with impatience. "If that's the case, get your friend to come pick you up. Don't cause any problems while you're here for the holidays." My dad's eyes flicked over to me, as though I was something unwanted. "Sorry, I couldn't reach my friend." Zane's expression finally shifted at the mention of his friend. He looked uneasy, but in the end, he promised my parents some money, and that was the only reason they agreed to let him stay. My grandma rolled her eyes and muttered under her breath, "What bad luck. One trouble brings more trouble into this house." She glared at me, then flung a dirty rag into my face.